Hi, I'm going to do some more Slitherlink with you. This time I'm going to use a different technique. I was inspired by Crazy Dad's comment on one of my videos about not using lines, sometimes just solving using the shading technique and with the X's where the lines can't go. And I thought this sounded really challenging, so I thought I'd give it a try. So if you haven't used shading before, that would be important before you get started. I'm going to point out a few things that are tough to spot using this technique, but also ways that you can learn to see patterns that will help you even if you are using lines. Okay, so I'm using Crazy Dad's Slitherlink. We're doing a medium level one. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put the X's where the X's obviously go, like around the zeros and on the corner around the 1, and then on either side of the 3 pairs. Standard stuff, right? I also have a 3 pair here. The X's are implied outside the grid there on that side, so I'll just put them on this side here. And I can fill out a little bit of shading right away, like the one in the corner is always outside the loop. Blue is outside the loop. Yellow is inside the loop. I'm just going to say blue and yellow because it's just so much easier. Okay, and then this 3 on the corner is always inside the loop. We also have this pair of 3s on the edge here, and the 3 against the edge here would have a line if it was there. Sometimes using this technique, I just need to imagine the line, and that's the way it works. So if it had a line here, it would be inside the loop, which makes that yellow. And because of the layer cake effect, you know what I mean, right? That's what I call it when there's alternating. This is going to end up being inside the loop too, because this 3 is outside. So yellow, blue, yellow. And the pattern continues actually outside the grid. This one would be blue. Okay, so what else can we notice right away? Well, there's things that you would see right away if the lines were there that you just have to learn to look for without the lines. For example, this 3 on the corner of a 0, that would have 2 lines in these segments here, which would fulfill this 1. So we can go ahead and put the X's on that 1 there because it is actually fulfilled. We just don't know what to color it yet. And then this dot has 3 X's, and remember, it can't have 3 X's. It either has to have none or 2 or 4. So I can put that there. And that fulfills that too, right? Because if I have 2, so I have 4 X's here to fulfill the dot, and then I have 2 X's here, which means there's 2 segments on this 2 here, and that makes a magic 2. So this is how it goes. This is another illustration of how the chains of 2s actually work. So if I do have this 2 segments here making a corner, that puts X's here because nothing can connect there to a corner. And that makes another corner, which puts more X's there. And in doing that, we have done something really interesting, which is we have fulfilled this 3. So this 3 needs to have 3 filled sides and 1 open side, and this X has become its open side. So the way that 3s look, I'm just going to move over to this 3 and show you something. When a 3 is done, it's going to have 1 X on one side, and then the opposite 2 corners are going to have this pattern like that, where it's almost like an arc of X's that come around the back like that. So I'm going to take those off just so I don't get confused. So I can go ahead, I have this X here, and I have these 2 X's here. So now I can just come on over and fulfill those X's there. Bam. All right, so this 2 is also done. 2 X's, 2 lines, 2 X's like that. Again, that fulfills this 3. So I'm going to come up here and do my 4 X's around the back like that. And that fulfills that too nicely. Very good. So the line's coming up around the 3 like this. And if the line were there, you would see that that line is poking into the corner of this 3 here. And when that happens, you go to the opposite corner and put in X's like that. And that means that if we see this corner here and come up around this corner here, aha, this is fulfilled. So I can put an X right there. So this 3 is done and this 2 is done. So because this line is going to be filled and this line is going to be filled, I can go ahead and put an X there, which is extremely handy. All right, looking over to this other 3 now, we've put in so many X's, you can see from this arc of X's around the back that it's done too. So I can put my X on the open side, which is opposite from those arcs, and that's done. And so what's going on here? So this line is going to have to continue down here, and it's either going to have to go this way. So this one would come down this way, or it would go or it would just open out, and one would go down, one would go up. We'll see. Either way, we know. Let me see. Do we know that? We don't know yet. Okay. So I'll leave it. Okay. What else can we do? Let's look around here. Where are we going? We got that line coming around. Okay, this line comes down here and hits the corner of this 1. And it's either going to have to go this way or this way. Similar to if you have 1 inside the loop and 1 outside the loop. 1 blue, 1 yellow on 2 sides of a 1. I can go ahead and put X's on these sides. And I can see that this 2 has been filled too. So that line is going to come up around like that. Okay, that's going to work. Okay, don't know what else to do right here. All right, what else can we do? Okay, this line comes here to this 1. And it's either going to have to go up or it's going to have to go over. So I know that these 2 sides are filled. That makes a corner right here. So that means this line, this segment is a line. So according to the way that pairs of 3s goes, that means the opposite side is open. And I could fill those, the arc, which conveniently makes the open side of this 3. And then I can finish the arc here, and one of them is off the grid. All right, so now I've got an outside the loop cell on the edge, and that's really important. Why? Because that means I can start shading really effectively. All right, so one of the things you're going to do with this technique is you're just going to follow the X's. So as I start shading, I'm just going to follow those X's because that's where the loop continues, the path of the loop. Now you're starting to see something that you'll see again and again with the pairs of 3s that are either horizontal or vertical, is that there's this U shape. It's like interlocking U shape. I think I mentioned this in the other one. So it looks like this when it's not on the edge. Oops. Like that, 2 like U shapes that interlock with each other, and I'm going to get rid of that so I don't get weirded out by it later. Okay, so this one is like that, and we know that that is done. Okay, all right, what else can we do? Well, we don't know which side. This line is going to come up here, and we don't know. My path is going to go around there. Okay, we don't know about that. That could come up there. Who knows? Let's see. All right, cruising around and looking. I'm probably missing something because I have done this one before. I mean, I just did it 10 minutes ago, so using this technique to make sure it was a good example. This is a corner there. Does that mean it comes down this way? No, it could go that way. This one can't open that way. This one can't open that way. Okay, so I got this 2. Oops. The 2. Since neither of those 3s can open toward the 2, it means it's got a line here. Line, XX. That one is fulfilled. Okay, let's do some imagining. Is that what I want to do? I'm still looking around. I really want to fulfill in some of these things. I'm just trying to imagine how I'm going to get this done. And it's hard to explain why, but I'm pretty sure that this 2 is outside of the loop. How do I know that? Well, it can't be these 2 lines. And if it solves with these 2 lines, then this one has to solve with this. It has to go up. That has to actually close that way. You can probably hear my neighbors. That's okay, depending on what else happens over there. If it goes down here, oh, I think this is why. Because okay, let me show you what would happen if this was inside the loop. I'm looking at this, which is an island. So that can't, I can just eliminate that option. So it's not inside the loop because there's no way to make that work. This is great news because now all the X's that we've done, we can actually use those to our advantage. So look, I'm gonna fulfill the 3 and the 2. Then I'm gonna follow all my X's who are not in Texas. I don't have any X's in Texas. This 2 has 2 blue, 1 yellow, needs another yellow. Here. Okay, that's solved. And this 3 could either face, the open part could go left or it could go below. So we don't know yet. Okay, so let's, I can see some other things starting to happen. Okay, so here is just fill in the other layer, the next layer. This is the filling, and it's the filling. That's the cake. Okay, just like this is the water and land. All right, whatever works. Okay, so here we have this little lake here. It's got to go and open to the edge, and it's only got one path for that. So one thing you can do, I mean, you can go ahead and fill in every single X wherever they're needed, or wherever they are, wherever they function. You can do that or not. It doesn't matter so much. But if you do that, one thing you can do that's kind of helpful is that you can check your answers and any X's that are in the wrong place. So here, let me just put an X in the wrong place there. Now check. And it turned red. It's hard to see, but it's red. So that at least is helpful if you get stuck. Okay, so again, so remember what I said about this one? It's got an inside of the loop side. It's got an outside of the loop side. It's got a yellow side. It's got a blue side. We don't know which side it's going to land on at the moment. So, but we know that line is going to happen on one of those 2 sides, so we can X out the others. That's just a review of that logic. Okay, we're going to do that again up here, though. So this 2 has 2 yellows and it gets 2 blues like that. So now this 1 has a blue and a yellow on this corner, on that side, so opposite corner. Oops, I wasn't watching. Opposite corner gets 2 X's, which solves this pair of 3s, right? Because now we know which side is open here. We can go up here and do the arc on the back, on the corners behind it. And then this 3, that side is open. We can finish off that arc of the corner. Okay, so what are we looking at here? Could this be inside the loop? Sure. In fact, it is. So look at this 2. This is where imagining the line can also come in handy. It's like this 2, when the lines are filled in, there's one that's right on the edge, which puts it inside the loop. Remember, when the line's on the edge, it's inside the loop. And I can just follow my X's there. This 2 is solved. It's got 2 yellow, 1 blue, and let's give it the second blue, which means that it's blue too, because you can't trap that and you can't bust that too either. Okay. And then this is also blue here. Okay, and then this one already has a segment. It's inside the loop up against the edge, which is a line right there. So let's give it, it's got 1 blue effectively, so now it needs 3 yellow like that. This 2 has 2 blue, 1 yellow, so here's the second yellow. So this one is fulfilled. There we go. This 2 has 2 yellows, so it needs another blue. And now we have a couple of magic 2s down here, right? So, well, not quite. The opposite, actually. So they've got 2 blues. Let's give them their 2 yellows. This 2 has 2 yellows. We'll give it it's blue. And now again, we're going to imagine the lines on this 2. That line is going to be like that, right? So that is all going to be yellow. I'm going to follow those X's and pull those in, which means that there's another line on this side, and this side is blue. So that means we can finish off this 2 here, because in order to make this corner work, this one has to be blue, and this one has to be yellow. This 1 is fulfilled on this corner, so the other 3 sides are going to be yellow. This lake needs to get out to the edge, so it goes like that. This 1 is fulfilled on the left side there, so I can finish the yellow parts. This 2 has 2 yellows, and give it its second blue over here, and this corner needs to be done like that. And this is a magic 2, so let's go ahead and fill in those yellows. This 2 needs its second yellow. This 1 has a blue, two blues effectively, and a yellow. So remember, it needs 3 of one color, 1 of the other. So it's already got 2 blues, so it's going to be 3 blues and a yellow, which puts that outside the loop. Okay, this 2 has 1 blue, 2 yellow, so we give it the second blue. And then this area here, in order to keep it from getting trapped, this has to be blue. This 2 has 2 blues, which makes this yellow. I hope you don't mind if I explain every step. It's a little slow, but for me too, but it can help. And I'm just finishing the obvious touches here. And it's done. Now, here's the satisfying part. Now I'm going to just run the line. Oops. All the way to the edge. I haven't done it this way before on this trackpad. Ooh, this is very satisfying, doing it all in one swoop. Now this technique is harder, so it makes your puzzles harder. But if you're up for that, like for instance, like I find sometimes the medium to be too easy, but the hard to be too hard. So that kind of makes the mediums a better level for me. There you go. 20 minutes. All right. I'm going to show you another one. If this is helpful, please go let Crazy Dad know that he's doing a good thing by having these on the web. And if you want to comment and let me know if you have any requests or anything, I'm certainly open to that. All right, I'm going to do another one like